Well, I'm inside today, guys. I've got some chores to do around the house, a little bit of routine maintenance on the hot water heater. Let me tell you something. This hot water heater is by far the best hot water heater I've ever had. Hang out for a minute. I'll show you how I installed it, a little bit of maintenance on it, go over the efficiency of it. It's all coming up. So the first thing you're going to put up on the wall to attach your hot water heater is the bracket that sits up top here. You want to make sure that bracket is super secure. This hot water heater is not lightweight. It's not too heavy to pick up, but it's not lightweight. You want to make sure you get a nice solid mount for that top bracket. If you notice, this wall looks a little thicker here. This is a piece of 3/4 inch plywood that I screwed to the studs in the wall so that I could mount my hot water heater exactly where I wanted it. With the 3/4 plywood mounted to the studs, I can put my hot water heater anywhere on that piece of 3/4 inch plywood. It's plenty strong enough to hold this hot water heater up. When you install that top bracket, you want to make sure it's perfectly level. You want your hot water heater to sit perfectly level when it's installed. After you install it, you can hang your hot water heater up on that bracket. That'll hold the weight while you go down to the bottom mounts and install those. So you can look past all this, you see a bolt here and a bolt here. Those are your two bottom bolts. Once you install those, your unit's secure. It can't come up off the bracket on the top, and it's secure on the bottom. After you get your hot water heater secured to the wall, there's only a couple more things to do before you have hot water. One, hook up your natural gas or your propane. Now I called in my propane company, had them come out and hook this up and test it, make sure it was hooked up to code and make sure it wasn't leaking. After that, I hooked my cold water up to the inlet, hooked my hot water up to the outlet, and I ran my condensation drain down to my pan down here where it can drain outside the house. This model hot water heater has a couple different ways to hook up the intake and the exhaust. This is a 95% efficient unit, so I had the option of using this right here as intake and exhaust both. The intake is the white tube, and there's a smaller tube in the middle that's the exhaust. 95% efficient unit means it takes all the heat from burning the propane or the natural gas and puts it into heating up the water. That's how they get away with venting the exhaust with plastic. So you've got your water lines hooked up, your propane or your natural gas lines hooked up, your exhaust, your intake hooked up, you're almost ready to go. Don't turn it on quite yet though. You want to turn the water on and get the water circulating through this before you turn it on. Turn the water on down below it and go through your house and turn on all the hot water valves, the sinks, showers, whatever you can. Get all the air bubbles out of this unit. What you don't want to do is turn this unit on before you've got the air pockets out of it, before you've run the water through it to make sure it's full of water. This unit senses when you want hot water. When you turn that faucet on, the water starts going through, instantaneously turns on and starts heating that water up. If there's no water in the lines, it's going to heat the pipes up and potentially burn itself out. That can get expensive. So make sure you flush water through it really good, get all those air pockets out before you plug it in and turn it on. In my county, you have to have a drain pan underneath all hot water heaters. Tankless, tanked hot water heaters, doesn't matter. You have to have a drain pan. So I've got my drain pan installed and it drains to the outside, straight through the wall. What I have here is my condensation hose. Not all units have a condensation hose, but the super high efficient units do. And that'll drain the condensation from your hot water heater throughout the day. I have mine cut at a really sharp angle and stuck down the middle of that pipe so that the water goes straight outside and doesn't have a chance to puddle right here where this coupler is. It has a little bit of a lip that'll puddle water. The only thing I don't have hooked up is my pressure relief valve. I need to get a hose hooked up to this that comes straight down into this drain pan. It's on the priority list, it's just not done yet. So the big question, how much does this cost to run? Well, we're a standard family of 4. We have a dishwasher, laundry, showers. I wash my hands quite often because I'm outside building stuff and making stuff. And we haven't been very conservative with the hot water in the first year we've lived here. With that being said, we've run through about 110 gallons of propane. Depending on the price of propane in your area, that'll give you the average cost per month or whatever you want to figure out. For us, 110 gallons of propane per year, that's not bad. So I need to do some routine maintenance. Routine maintenance that's probably well overdue. But I've had a lot going on around here. I built the house, built the pole barn, getting everything kind of going. And I know routine maintenance should be higher on the priority level than it is, but it's better late than never. So let's get this cover off. I can check the air filter. You guys can get a good look inside the machine. It's a win-win. These covers should just slide straight off. Look at that. Well, before we take the screws out, we should probably turn this thing off. Put the air filter up here. Pull this out. Huh, got a little moth in there. The air filter's clean though. Get that moth out of there. Little screen filter. Put that back in. Simple as that. Doesn't look like there's much to see in there. There isn't even a lot of dust. I think this thing could probably pass a white glove test. I wish I could say the same about the rest of my house. We got the air filter cleaned and checked and cleaned, and it's doing good. So we'll go ahead and pop the cover back on this and button her back up. Well, routine maintenance is pretty easy. I still need to flush the unit out, but I need to get a little pump so I can pump water through it. And I might put out a video a little later on how to do that. I'll leave an Amazon link in the description to this hot water heater right here. But keep in mind, Rinnai makes different hot water heaters for different applications. They make an interior unit and an exterior unit, a natural gas unit and a propane unit. Look at the part number on the Rinnai hot water heater. It'll have an I for interior, an E for exterior, an N for natural gas, and a P for propane. Pick the one that's right for your situation. I promise you, you'll love it. Until next time, go make something. Or just do some routine maintenance.